good morning everyone. So online, is my voice is audible to you all? Can you confirm in chat box once? Okay. As well as screen, clear for all of you. Yes. So now, actually, I have said in this class we are going to start about the Git, right? Now, so let me open the Git architecture here. So actually, in last class we have discussed all about the Linux. So Linux is going to be covered in entire syllabus. Okay, na? So don't worry about the Linux. I will tell you. So when to wear it. So now let me open the Git architecture. So let me select the best one. So these all gonna be the, may open the best architecture here. So this is gonna be the best one. Yeah. So before going to talk about the Git architecture, so why we use Git? Okay, na? Why we use Git? So actually, the meaning of Git, it is nothing but global information tracker. What is it? GIT, Git is nothing but global information tracker. So the name itself contain tracker, right? So ultimately it is going to track the code. What is going to track? It is going to track the code. But wherever code will present means our code will present on the file. Okay, no? Where our code will present in the files. So ultimately Git is going to track the files. Okay, no? So online, I am repeating again. So Git is nothing but global information tracker. The name itself contains tracker. What it will track? It will track the code. Okay, na? But code where it will present on the files. So ultimately, Git is going to track the files. Clear for all of you? Yes. So now, so why we need to track? Okay, na? Why we need to track? So let's say totally, I'm having my Paytm version here. Okay, na? I mean, I'm having my Paytm application here. So in that Paytm application, we are having the number of services, right? We are having the recharge, bank transactions, movie tickets, train tickets, as well as bus tickets. Okay, na? So now I am having three developers. Developer one, developer two, okay, na? Developer three. So let's say developer one is going to write the code correctly. Okay, na? So developer 2 is going to write the code correctly. Okay, so developer 3 is having some errors. So I have to track which developer has written the codes wrong. Okay, now. So if you want to track entire information, we are going to use it. Okay, now. So and also, so this is gonna be the main point now. It is used to maintain the multiple versions also. Okay, now why we are using to maintain the multiple versions? What exactly the mean? Okay. So let's say totally I'm having here Paytm application. In that Paytm application, I'm having number of versions. So let's say this is Paytm version, which is having 5 services. Okay, na? So this is my version 2, which is having 7 services. You know the meaning of services: recharge, bank transactions, movie tickets, train tickets, as well as bus tickets. So this is gonna be the version 1. In version 2, totally I'm having 7 services. Okay, na? In version 3, I'm having totally 10 services. To maintain the multiple versions of a single application, we are going to use Git. So why we need to maintain multiple versions? Why we need to maintain multiple versions? Okay. So to roll back, what is it? To roll back. So now what is meant by rollback? What is meant by rollback? Going back to the previous version. So let's say if my version 3 has been failed, I need to go to the previous version, right? So to maintain multiple versions of a single application, we are going to use Git. So like clear for all of you? So now I'm going to repeat one more time for you. So see here. So the first point is about Git. It is nothing but global information tracker. What is meant by Git? It is nothing but global information tracker. So the name itself contain tracker, right? What it will track? It will track the code. Okay now. But wherever code will present on the files. So ultimately it is going to track the files. So this is the major point. Okay now. Point number one. So next point is about will maintain the multiple versions of a single application. So let's say totally I'm having Paytm application here. Okay, so this is my application. So in my application, totally I'm having different versions. So let's say I'm having version 1 and also I'm having version 2 and also I'm having version 3. So in version 1, totally I'm having 5 services. How many services? 5. In version 2, I'm having totally 7 services. In version 3, totally I'm having 10 services. Let's say why we need to maintain multiple versions means so to roll back. Okay now. So what is meant by rollback? Rollback is nothing but going back to the previous version. So let's say my version 3 has been failed. Okay now. Immediately I need to go to the previous version, right? So if you want to go to the previous version, we need to maintain the previous version of code. So that's the reason we need to maintain the multiple versions of a single application. So online, clear for all of you? So then next. So let me talk about the Git architecture. So totally, this is the workflow of Git as well as architecture of Git. Okay, na? So totally in Git, we are having 3 stages. How many stages? 3 stages we are having. So the first stage is about working directory. What is the first stage here? Working directory. So the next stage is gonna be the staging area. Okay, na? First one, working directory. Second one, staging area. So the third one is about the repository. Okay, na? So totally in Git, we are having 3 stages. How many stages? 3 stages. So the first one is about working directory. Second one is about staging area. So then third one is about repository. Okay, na? So now point number one. The default directory in Git is going to be the working directory. What is the default stage here? Working directory. So working directory is the default stage. So then next, the files that are present in working directory, it will not track. Okay, na? It will not track the files that are present in working directory. Okay, na? But when it will track, okay? So when we add Git to that file, so let's say totally I'm having AWS file here. So which was in working directory. I want to track this file. If you want to track the AWS file, we need to add Git to that file. So let's say how to add Git to that file means so Git add and then file name. That's it. We are going to add Git to this file. So automatically it will shift from working directory to the staging area. So online claim for all of you. సో అర్థమైందా అండి? Thank you responses. So let me repeat one more time for you. So totally in Git, we are having 3 stages. How many stages? 3 stages. So the first one is about working directory. Second one is about the staging area. So then third one is about the repository. Okay, now so totally we are having 3 stages. So now first point, the default directory, the default stage in the Git is nothing but working directory. So working directory is the default stage. So the second one is about the files that are present in working directory. Okay, na? So let's say I'm having AWS file here in working directory. So actually this AWS file was present in working directory, right? It will not track. Okay, na? It will not track the files that are present in working directory. That's it. So when it will track, sorry, when it will track means, so when we add Git to that file, so automatically it will shift from working directory to the staging area. Okay, na? So it will track the files that are present in staging area. Okay. So then next, after staging area, what we are having? Repository. Okay, na? So let's say my file was present in staging area. So totally I am having AWS file here. Okay, na? So I want to send this file to the repository, means what we need to do? Commit. What we need to do? Commit. So now what is meant by commit? Commit is nothing but save. Okay, na? So now online clear for all of you about these three stages, and we are going to do practically now. So then next. So let me launch one server here. Okay. So in tomorrow's class, we are going to create the AWS accounts for you. Okay, na? So meanwhile, just try to launch one server here. First one is about the Git, name of the server here. So then next, OS types. So kernel version 5.10. So then T2 micro, proceed without any key pair. So security groups, I'm taking all and then launches. So this is the ID. So now if you want to connect with your server, just try to select our server, connect, and then connect. So what is the default user here when you connect any server? What is the default user here? EC2 hyphen user. So let's say this is my server. If you want to connect with your server, you can connect here, like connect and then connect. So when you connect with your server, by defaultly, you will be default user. Who is he here? Default user EC2 hyphen user. So he is the default user in the server. Okay, na? So now, if you want to go to the root user, so actually default user will not having the full permissions. Okay, na? So, but who is having the full permissions? Means root user having the full permissions. So let's say he is the EC2 hyphen user. He is not having the full permissions. Okay, na? So, but who is having the full permissions? Ante root user. Who is having the full permissions here? Root user. So if you want to shift from EC2 hyphen user to the root user, then the command will be sudo space hyphen I. What is the command here? Sudo space hyphen I. So see here, by defaultly I am in EC2 hyphen user. Okay, na? So what is the command to switch from EC2 hyphen user to the root user here? Sudo space hyphen I. Okay, na? So now sudo space hyphen I. So then hit enter. So ultimately I am in now root user. So previously I was in EC2 hyphen user. Okay, now. So now we can perform the commands now. So let's say I am going to deal with the Git, right? So in my server I am going to deal with the Git. So Git should present or not in my server. Okay, now. So now we are going to install Git here. Okay, now Git should present on our server. So now command to install the Git here. What is the command? Install Git hyphen y. What is the command here? Install Git hyphen y. So then hit enter. So ultimately in my server, it is going to install. So Git was installed. So online clear for all of you how to install the Git. So we are having the command install Git hyphen y. Now, so if you want to check, you can check. So simply we can see get the version, right? So Git hyphen version. So see here, when it print the version, so ultimately Git was present in my server. So then hit enter. So ultimately version is going to be print. Okay. No? So online, clear for all of you. How to check the version here? Yes. So then next. Actually, it was package management tool. What is it? Package management tool. So when you have installed such type of tools, we need to initialize first. What we need to do? Initialize. So see here, the command is going to be the git init. So ultimately, it is going to initialize in my server. So then hit enter. So see here, initialize empty git repository in. So where it is going to initialize? So slash root dot git. So automatically, when you initialize the dot, git, automatically one dot git folder is going to be created. So let's say this is my dot git folder. So wait a second, my pen was stuck. So now, when you initialize the dot git, when you initialize the git here, so automatically one dot git folder will get created. So whatever the perform you are doing, nothing but whatever the operations you are doing, whatever the commits you are doing, so all the information will store on dot git folder. Okay, now so when you initialize the dot git, when you initialize the git, automatically one dot git folder will get created. Okay, now so without initializing, we can't do anything here. Okay, now first step is going to be the initialize the git. So when you initialize the git, automatically dot git folder will gets created. Okay, now so whatever the operations you are doing, whatever the commits you are doing, so all the information will store on dot git folder. Online clear for all of you. This is the major important point interviews perspective. So now next, what is the command to create a file here? What is the command to create a file? In yesterday's class we have discussed this, right? I want to create one file. So online, what is the command here? Touch and then file name, right? So touch and then file name. So I'm going to give touch and then file name gonna be the AWS. Okay, na? So ultimately this is the command and this is the file name here. So then hit enter. Okay, na? Now my file was created. I want to check whether my file was created or not. Then how can I check here? Online, what is the command? ls. Okay, now ls is the command to see the list of files. So then hit enter. Then so totally I'm having here my AWS file. Okay, na? So what is the default stage in work? What is the default stage in Git? Working directory. Great, super. What is the default stage in the Git? Working directory. So actually, whatever the files that I have created, by default it is in working directory. So if you want to check, the command will be the git status. What is the command here? Git status. So ultimately, it is going to be in red color, right? So if you are getting the red color, it is not going to track. When it will going to track, I will tell you. So wait a second, don't be confused. So totally in Git, we are having three stages. So the first one is about working directory, second one is about staging area, and then third one is about repository. Okay, na? So let's say, what is the default stage in Git? Working directory. So files that are present in working directory, it will not track. When it will track, when you add the git to that file. So automatically working directory file will shift to the staging area. What is the command here? Git add and then file name. So automatically it will shift from working directory to the staging area. So online clear for all of you about this. So now, yeah, if you want to check whether your file was tracking or not, so the command will be git status. Okay, na? So when you get the red color, okay, na? When you get the red color, it is not going to track here. Okay, na? So when you give the same command, git status, when you get the green color, so git is going to track. Okay, na? So when you are getting the green color, all files that are present in staging area. When you get the red color, the files that are present in working directory. Clear? So online clear for all of you. Git status, when you are getting the red color, it is going to present on working directory. When you are getting the green color, it is going to present on the staging area. Red color files will not track, green color files will track. Simply. So I am going to create one more file here. See, hash. I am going to create Azure. Okay, na? So then give ls. So I'm having AWS as well as Azure, right? So now again give the git status here. Yes, again ls git status. So ultimately I'm getting both are in red color. So if both files are in red color, in which stage it was present? Working directory. Now I want to shift from working directory to the staging area. Now what I need to do? Add a git to that file. Super. Git add AWS. So totally I'm adding the git to AWS file. So then hit enter. Now it was added. I want to check whether it was added or not. Git status. What is it? Git status. So ultimately AWS file will having the green color. Okay, na? So Azure file will having the red color. So if AWS file having the green color, in which stage it was present? Staging area. Okay, na? So if Azure file having the red color, in which stage it was present? Working direct. So online clear for all of you about this. So remaining. So now give the git status here. So totally I'm having AWS file. Nothing but it is going to be tracked. Azure file. It is not going to be tracked. Okay, na? So I want to remove the git to AWS file. I want to send my AWS file again, staging area to the working directory. Okay, na? So adding the git we have seen. Okay, na? Removing the git. The command will be git rm hyphen hyphen cachd. Okay, na? Hit rm hyphen hyphen cachd and then file name. So what is the file name here? AWS. So then hit enter. We have removed the git. So how can we check git status? So see here again my AWS file is getting the red color. Azure file is getting the red color. So both files are present in working directory. So now see. First one, working directory. Second one, staging area. So the third one, repository. So default stage, working directory. Okay, na? So when you have created any files, all files will present on working directory. Okay, na? So how can we check here? Git status. So ultimately it will get the red color. So if the file is getting the red color, it was present in working directory. Now, how can you shift from working directory to the staging area? Git add and then file name. So automatically it will shift from working directory to the staging area. Now, again I want to shift from staging area to the working directory. So the command will be git rm hyphen hyphen cachd and then file name. Okay, na? So this is the way. So adding the Git we have seen. Okay, na? Removing the Git. So online clear for all of you. You remove. Yeah, can you repeat the remove? So okay. So see here. So totally, I'm going to create such GCP file. So now my file was created. So see here, I'm having AWS, I'm having Azure, and I'm having GCP. So now it add GCP. Okay, now so totally I have added the GCP. So give the status here. A second. Git status. So ultimately we are having only GCP file, which was in tracking. So if you want to remove, the command will be git rm hyphen caged cach git caged and then file name. So what is the file name here? GCP. So then hit enter. Ultimately it was removed to that GCP file. So if you want to check, how can you check? Git status. So previously Git status, when you give the Git status, it is going to be in green color. Now give the Git status here, it was in red color. So if you are getting the red color, automatically this file will present on working directory. Clear for you, Shivan? Yes. Super. So then next. So totally I'm having how many files here? 3 files. AWS, Azure, as well as GCP. Okay, na? So now I want to add Git to that files at a time. At a time I want to add. So the command will be git add star. So now what is meant by star here? All. Okay, now. So what is meant by star? All. So then hit enter. Automatically Git has added to all files. So if you want to check, the command will be git status. So automatically all files are in green color. Green color means staging area. Ultimately it was in tracking. So now, so what is the third stage here? Repository. Okay, na? So working directory, staging area, and then repository. If you want to send the files from working directory to the staging area, git add. Again, if you want to send the staging area files to the repository, what we need to do? We need to do commit. What we need to do? Commit. Now, what is meant by commit? Commit is nothing but save. What is it? Save. So now, let us do the commit now. So the command will be git commit hyphen m. So here m is nothing but message. So message I'm going to give AWS file and then file name. So the meaning of message. So see here. So I'm going to save the AWS file, right? I'm going to save the AWS file. So in message, why you are doing this commit? Why you are saving your AWS file? We need to pass the message here. Okay, na? So if you are trying to do the commit, okay, na, we need to pass the message. Why we need to pass the message means why you are doing this commit? We need to pass. In real time, what will happen, you know? So let's say I'm having the AWS file here. So in AWS file, I'm having some bugs. Okay, na? So the message will be bugs are removed. So this is the message. And then file. So clear for all of you online. Yes. Great. So then hit enter. Automatically my file was saved. My commit was happened. Okay, na? If you want to see the list of commits, if you want to see the list of commits, the command will be git log. What is the command here? Git log. So now give the command git log. So automatically I am getting the logs here. Nothing but This is the commit ID. So see here. So now this is my commit ID. Okay, now. So then next, what we are having author who has done the commit. So actually root user has done this commit, right? So this is the root user IP address. Okay, now. So this is the commit message. So ultimately end to end we are going to track. So see here when who has done this commit, who has done this commit, when he has done this commit, why he has done this commit. So totally end to end information we are getting. So online clear for all of you. If you want to see the list of commits, what is the command here? Git log. So when you give the git log, automatically who has done this commit? Okay now. So what is the name of the author? What is the name of email of the author? Okay now. So when he has done this commit, why he has done this commit? All the entire information we are going to track. So now. So totally I have done only for AWS file, right? So if you want to do the commit to the Azure file, what is the command now? Git commit -m. So m is nothing but the message. So next message. So Azure file and then file name Azure. So then hit enter. Ultimately Azure file also committed. So if you want to check, you can. So git log. So previously I am having only one commit. Now I am getting two commits. Whatever the message you have given during the commit, so this message it will print here. So this is my commit ID. This is my commit message. So who has done this commit? Why he has done this commit? Nothing but message here. When he has done this commit. So automatically end to end information we are going to track. So online clear for all of you. Yes. So then next. So let's say here author. Who is the author here? Root. I want to set my name. So previously, let's say not the previously, in real time, what will happen, So in other place, we are getting our names. We are getting our mail IDs. So if you want to set your name as well as mail ID, so the command will be git config. What is the command here? Git config user dot name within braces username. So whatever the name you want to give here, so we can. So I'm going to give here uh, Harsha. What is the name here? Harsha. So then hit enter. So automatically username was set. Now I want to set my email ID. So the command will be git config user dot email, not the Gmail. Okay, na? So we need to pass only the email. Git config user dot email within braces. We need to pass the email. So the command, what is the email? So I'm having harsha@gmail.com. Okay, na? So then hit enter. Ultimately, my name was set as well as my mail ID was set. So when I give the git log, who will come? Root will come or Harsha will come? Harsha. So online, who will come? Root user will come or Harsha will come? Harsha. So remaining. So I am now Harsha will come. Huh? So see here, git log and then hit enter. Who has come here? Root has come. Okay now. So why root has come in? So actually we have done these commits. Okay na? So actually we have done these commits before configuring. Okay na? So from now, how many commits you have done? You are going to done. So all commits will get the order Harsha. Okay, so actually we have done these commits before configuring. So that's the reason other has root. Okay, so now after configuring, just try to do the commits. You will get your names, nothing but Harsha name. Okay, so now I'm having GCP file, right? Git commit hyphen m. So now message gonna be the GCP file and then GCP. So then hit enter. Ultimately, my GCP file was committed. So if you want to check what is the command here, git log. So for the GCP file, so see here, who is the other here now? Harsha, our mail ID only now. So this is the way how to set your name as well as mail ID. So the reason why I am getting the root here as well as root. So these two commits I have done without configuring, before configuring username as well as mail ID. So that's the reason we are getting the root. So after configuring, just try to do the commits. You will get your names as well as mail IDs. Clear for all of you? So now, so from the first, I'm going to repeat. So why we are using Git here? What is meant by Git first? Global information tracker. Okay, na? So the name itself contain tracker, right? So what it is going to do means it is going to track the code. What is it is going to do? Track the code. Okay, now. So actually, where our code will present? Files. So ultimately, it is going to track the files. So now, so why we need to track? Why we need to track means so we need to maintain the multiple versions. Why we need to track? We need to maintain the multiple versions. So let's say totally I'm having here Paytm application. In that Paytm application, I'm having version 1, version 2, as well as version 3. So to maintain the multiple versions of a single application, we are going to use Git. So why we need to maintain multiple versions means what is the reason here? To roll back. Okay, so now what is meant by rollback? Going back to the previous version. Now, so after this, what we have discussed? Git stages, right? So totally how many stages will present in Git? 3 stages will present. So what are they? Working directory. Second one, staging area. So then third one is about repository. So what is the default directory here? Working directory is the default one, default stage. So the files that are present in working directory, it will track or not? No, it will not track. So how can you check? How to check your file is tracking or not? Git status. Just a second. So Git status. So when it will track a file, when we add Git to that file, so automatically it will shift from working directory to the staging area. So all files that are present in staging area, it will track or not? It will track. Okay, na? So how can you check again? Git status. So when you are getting the green color, it is going to be tracked. When you are getting the red color, it is not going to track. Okay, na? So then next, I want to send my file from staging area to the repository. Okay, now what is the command here now? Git commit hyphen m. So commit message and then file name. So here, why you are doing this commit? So we need to pass the reason here. So ultimately, we have sent from staging area to the repository. Okay, now if you want to see the list of commits, what is the command now? Git log. So it's going to be the display all the commits. So now, so totally when you have given the git log, so by defaultly order will be the root as well as root mail ID. If you want to set your name as well as mail ID, so the command will be git config. What we are going to do? Config. Okay, na? So user dot name. So within columns, we need to pass our username. Okay, now next what we need to do? Set the mail ID, right? So the command will be git config user dot email. What is it? Email. So within columns, email. So ultimately we have set our username as well as mail ID. Okay, now so after configuring, just try to do the commits. You will get your mail as well as your name. So online clear for all of you till what we have discussed. Totally, I'm having it three logs here, right? So in real time, when you give the git log, you will getting then hundreds of logs. I mean hundreds of commits. If you want to see only top two logs, so the command will be git log hyphen. So it is going to print only top two logs. So then hit enter. So see here, git log hyphen two. So from the head, it is going to print only two commits. Okay, nothing but GCP file as well as Azure file. So when you give the git log here, so I'm having GCP file, Azure file, as well as AWS file. Nothing but AWS commit also. So when you give the git log hyphen 2, it's going to print only top two logs. So if you want to see top one log, what is the command here? Git log hyphen 1. So it is going to print top one log. So this is the log. If you want to see the top three logs, what is the command now? Git log hyphen 3. So it is going to print top three logs. So online clip for all of you. So now, yeah. So totally we have discussed about few commands here. So let me write all the commands. Okay, now so by default, when you have connected with your server, what is the command now? I mean, by default, when you have connected with your server, what is the default user here? EC2 hyphen user. Okay, now so when you want to shift from EC2 hyphen user to the root user, so the what is the command now? If you want to shift from EC2 hyphen user to the root user, so what is the command? Sudo space hyphen I. So ultimately you are going to shift from EC2 hyphen user to the root user. So now I want to install Git in my server. Okay, na? So if you want to install Git in your server, the command will be install Git hyphen Y. Okay, na? So this is the command to install Git in your server. Okay, na? So now actually Git is going to be the package management tool. What is it? Package management tool. So when you have installed such type of tools, we need to initialize first. What we need to do? Initialize first. So the command will be git init. What is the command now? Git init. So when you have initialized this one, so automatically one .git folder. So I'm repeating again. So this is going to be the folder. Okay, na? So when you have initialized your Git, one .git folder will get created automatically. So whatever the operations you have done, so all the information will store here. So see here. So let's say I'm having git log. Okay, Git. So I'm having my information. So let's say I'm going to remove the .git folder. Okay, na? So I'm going to remove .git folder. So I have removed. So when you give again git log, it is not going to print. Why it is not going to print means so I have removed the .git folder, right? So entire information we have lost. Online, clear for all of you about the .git folder. So if you lost your .git folder, your information will get lost. So previously, I have given git log. So automatically, I am getting the commits now. Okay now. So when you have removed the .git folder, if you give again git log, it is not going to print. Why it is not going to print means we have lost our .git folder. Okay now. So in real time, we are not going to do this one. Actually, we are not having the permissions to remove the .git folder. Okay now. So this is a major important point. So that's why I'm stressing here. Okay, na? So then next, I have initialized the Git. So totally .git folder gets created. Okay, na? So then next, what is the, sorry, how many stages that are present in Git? 3 stages present. So what are they? Working directory, staging area, and then repository. Okay, na? So what is the default directory in Git? Working directory. Okay, na? So this is the default directory. The files that are present in working directory, it will track or not? No, it will not track. But when it will track? When we add Git to that file. So automatically the file shift from working directory to the staging area. So the files that are present in staging area, it will track. So how can you check? Git status. So now I want to shift from staging area to the repository. What I need to do? I need to do commit. So now what is meant by commit? Commit is nothing but save. So now if you want to see the list of commits, what is the command now? To see the list of commits, git log. So it is going to print list of logs here, list of commits here. So we can get to know that who has done this commit, when he has done this commit, why he has done this commit. So entire information we are going to track. You know? So now in real time, what will happen? So when you give the git log, you will get hundreds of commits. So if you want to see only top 2 commits, what is the command now? Git log -2. So it is going to print top 2 logs. If you want to see the top 3 logs, what is the command now? Git log -3. So it will print top 3 logs. Now, so I'm getting other name as root as well as mail ID as root. Now I want to set my username as well as mail ID. So what is the command now? Git config user dot name within braces username. Again, so if you want to set your email ID, what is the command now? Git config user dot email, not the Gmail guys, email. So within braces email. So ultimately we have set our name as well as mail ID. So online clear for all of you up to now. So I want to make you clear. So that's the reason I'm repeating this number of times. Great. So now anybody has any doubts over this session? Mana doubts unnaya? Ee session. Mana doubts unnaya andi?
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, after config, what will happen, sir? We have to commit once again? Or?
No need to commit. So actually after configuring, you are getting again the root, right? So that's the reason I have committed one more time. We have set our name, we have set our email ID. We need to check it, right? So whether my name was set or not. So that's the reason I have committed.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So remaining. Any alternative doubts? So now, before going again wind up the session. So how was the session now? ఎలా అనిపించింది class? ఓకేనా? Or else? So remaining. Yeah, good. Great. Thank you. సో అర్థమవుతున్నాయి కదా. సో మీకు ఎట్ ఎనీ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ టైంలో అర్థం కాకపోతే సార్ నాకు అక్కడ మెసేజ్ చేయండి. సో ఇందాక నేను ఒక మెసేజ్ చూశాను. సో వన్స్ అగైన్ రిపీట్ సార్. సో నేను రిపీట్ చేసేసాను. అలానే ఉంటుందండి సెషన్. సో ఫ్రమ్ ద day one to the till the end. ఓకేనా? సో ద సెషన్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి లైక్ దిస్ ఓన్లీ. ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి interactive only. So when you are getting such type of doubts, you can ping me in the chat box. I can repeat number of times for you. Okay na? So in this class only you will get the commands in your mind. Okay na? So and also one suggestion for you guys. So online for you. So when you are listening the class, don't try to write the notes. Okay na? I will provide the notes. So I will write the notes for you. Don't write the notes. Just try to listen the class first. Okay na? End to end you will get to know that. And also just try to contact with the admin team. They will provide the videos for you. Okay na? So it's going to be their lifetime access. అర్థమైందా అండి? సో మీకు వీడియోస్ కావాలి అనుకుంటే కాంటాక్ట్ టీమ్ వాళ్ళకి మీ మెయిల్ ఐడి ఇవ్వండి. వాళ్ళు మీకు వీడియోస్ అనేవి ఇచ్చేస్తారు. సో వీడియోస్ చూస్తూ మీరు ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసుకోవచ్చు ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ వస్తే. అండ్ ఆల్సో సేమ్ అదే డ్రైవ్ లో ఇంకొక ఫోల్డర్ క్రియేట్ అయ్యి ఉంటుంది, మెటీరియల్స్ అని ఉంటుంది అనమాట. సో అక్కడ మెటీరియల్స్ నేను అప్లోడ్ చేస్తాను, వీడియోస్ అనేవి వీళ్ళు అప్లోడ్ చేస్తారు. సో ఇన్ దిస్ క్లాస్ తెలుగు రాని వాళ్ళు ఎవరైనా ఉన్నారా? ద పర్సన్స్ హూ ఆర్ డోంట్ నో ద తెలుగు. సో ఐ థింక్ ఆల్ ఆర్ నో తెలుగు, రైట్? సో no issue. The classes is going to be in English only. So if you want to communicate with me, you can communicate in Telugu or in English. So anything is fine for me. Okay na? So um, so after using your server, so tomorrow's class just try to come up with one debit card or in one credit card. So which is having the international transaction. It is charged only 2 rupees. How many rupees? 2 rupees. So it will charge only 2 rupees. In tomorrow's class, I am going to create the AWS accounts for you. So online clear for all of you. So lively only I am going to create the AWS accounts for you. Okay, na? So don't do any mistakes over there. So if you do any mistake, so you will get the charge. Billing. Billing will come. So okay, na? So okay then. Bye all. Have a nice day. So just try to uh, bring the credit card to in tomorrow's class. So bye all. Have a nice day.